All right. Hey, what's going on, you guys? I hope you guys are doing well. So, I was just taking a shower and I was just thinking about whether or not I could have gotten ahead of my hair loss at an earlier point of time or at an earlier stage. And the obvious answer is yes, I should have. I should have gotten in front of it earlier. Or I wish I had. I really wish that I had. So in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about why I think it's very important to get ahead of this thing at a reasonable time, and why I think you guys should overcome the fear of, whether it's the fear of side effects or the fear of medication or the fear of sticking to a regimen and committing yourself to a hair regimen, or maybe it's the fear of failure, the fear of not seeing results, or dealing with the frustration of not seeing results. So if you guys remember, if you guys have watched the video I made on my hair loss story, I talked to you guys about how a lot of people around me, friends, family members, cousins, even my mother, they started to comment on my hair. Comments were not very direct. They were mostly saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't put oil in your hair. Maybe you shouldn't put products in your hair. Maybe you should change your shampoo. How often are you washing your hair? Things like that. Now, obviously, they were trying to protect my feelings, and as opposed to, just telling me, hey, bro, you're fucking losing it, man. You're fucking losing some crop on the top, dude. But it all came to a point when, like I said, I was in China, and a female colleague of mine, she was like, hey, are you losing your hair? And I freaked out. So I looked at her and I'm like, what are you talking about? And she went like this. So she saw the expression on my face, and like in her mind, she kind of realized that I was probably in denial and I was probably unaware of what was going on. And to a certain point, I would attribute maybe 70% of it to denial, because I knew that the back of my head wasn't thick. And I knew that because every time like I was in a place where there was like very bright lighting, I would avoid it. Or every time I went down escalators, I would always feel self-conscious, thinking that people behind me can see like the top of my head and that it looks kind of empty and it looks kind of thinned out. And I showered almost daily because I just wanted my hair to look fresh and at its best. But all of that, like I said, it was denial. It was just different coping mechanisms to deal with the reality of what was going on with my hair, as opposed to, actually directly confronting the issue. And I would say maybe another 30% of it was just optimism. I was thinking, well, maybe it's seasonal, maybe it's my diet, maybe it's whatever. I tried, like caffeine shampoos and all the other bullshit. But eventually, I got out of that denial. I got out of that false optimism and faced it honestly. So I eventually had to be honest with myself and face the reality. And by the time I got out of that denial, I was ready. But you guys know that I was unemployed for a while and I couldn't spend money on medication or hair. So, and that's something that I regret. I wish that I hadn't wasted that time, because that year in 2020, I did lose a lot of hair. Mostly because of the stress, the amount of stress that I was under, but also because just the natural progression of my hair loss. So if I had gotten in front of it ahead of time, I would have undergone far less stress and worry and insecurity and pain because of it, because of hair. Now, I think, and like this is not based on any statistics or whatever, but I feel like 9 men out of 10 get ahead of this thing too late rather than too early, right? Because, for a lot of men, there's no reason to think anything of it if you're not seeing the signs. And when you do see the signs, there's denial, there's optimism, there's, small changes that don't matter, like changing your diet or increasing your vitamin intake or changing your shampoo or conditioner or whatever. That doesn't matter, right? We think it does, or we hope it does, but at the end of the day, that doesn't do anything, right? So there will come a point in time where you have to face the reality. Dude, I have to take finasteride. I have to start putting minoxidil on my head. I have to this. So you start doing research. You start reading about shit. You start going to forums and Reddit and all the other stuff. And that's good. That's a good sign. If you are there on that fence, I hope this video will convince you, or I hope I can push you just over that fence. Now, in my 1 year that I've been, like documenting this journey and I try to stay as neutral as possible. I wasn't trying to persuade or dissuade anybody from doing anything, but I see men around me and I'm like, man, if only this person knows what I know, if only this person would get over that fear or would face the reality. So something that I've started doing recently, I approach men. So the last time that happened was just a few days ago. I was at the bank, I was making a deposit, and I was just waiting in line, and I saw another guy, very early 20s, and I just struck up a conversation. I said, hey, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I noticed you're going thin on top. And he was open about it. He was honest about it. He was like, yeah, I just don't know what to do. I've tried minoxidil, blah, blah, blah. So we ended up having a long conversation about it. So, one, you have to have that conversation with yourself. If hair is something that is truly important to you, if it's a big part of your appearance and your aesthetic, sure, go for it. Get over that fear and just go over that fence. If people around you are making comments, don't be in denial. Take it seriously. If you see your brother, your cousin, your friend, somebody at the gym, approach them, talk to them. So we men, we as a community, we as a culture, as a species, we should learn to not feel insecure or awkward or weird about something as natural or as common as male pattern baldness. So I guess the purpose of this video is a call to action, a call to arms to all of my brothers out there, to all of my follicle brothers, all of my, I don't know what to call you guys. But it is important. It is something that I hope you take seriously. And because, I read the comments, a lot of you guys are very wishy-washy, very iffy about whether or not you should get on something. And I'm not saying go for like the top shelf shit like I am. You don't necessarily have to go for dutasteride. You don't necessarily have to go for oral minoxidil. You don't necessarily have to, but do something, anything, rather than nothing, rather than just watching your hair and your beauty and your confidence go down the drain in the shower. I just took a shower and I hadn't showered, I hadn't washed my hair for like 3 or 4 days. I lost only about like 20-25 strands of hair because, I have a, like a hair trap, and I count. I'm not doing it obsessively, but I count, right? So I hope you guys will take this more seriously. So let me know if there's any thoughts you have. Let me know in the comments. What are your fears? What is stopping you from starting a protocol, right? Share your thoughts with me. So anyway, thank you for watching this. I'm going to upload the 1 year review very, very soon, and I'm going to share with you my latest protocol. So yeah, anyway, thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself, take care of your families, and I'll see you around.